Summer is here again, guys, and welcome to the first video on my channel for the year of 2022. And since I can't go to the beach because we're back to lockdown again basically, I've decided to play a little bit of Subnautica to simulate the feeling of being underwater and all the horrors that came along with it. Since it was a survival game, the first thing I did was take inventory of everything that was in the pod. And yeah, I checked out the fabricator and shit and decided that the first thing that I should do was make a repair tool. While looking for materials in a small cave, I've come across a creature that could potentially kill me if I wasn't careful. And just like a stupid tourist, I looked at it instead of running away, so I ended up having half my health gone. On the bright side though, I got all the materials I needed to make the repair tool. I could finally repair the pod and the radio transmitter.
Distress signal received. Rescue operation will be dispatched to your location in 9 hours.
Having lost hope in any form of rescue, I just decided to look for some food and stuff to keep myself from getting hungry. Fortunately, the fish in this alien water world were pretty easy to catch, so it wasn't a long time before I had a lot of food on my hands. I also had a bunch of extra materials on me, so I went ahead and made a few more tools. One of which was a scanner that I could use to scan stuff. The scanner also enabled me to scan the Aurora's fallen debris fields. By doing this, I could unlock blueprints for stuff that I could build later on. So I just went around and tagged every piece of machinery that I could. Also, I ran into a SpongeBob reference. I also learned that you could use these brain coral things to breathe more air even though you're still underwater. I might have been having too much fun with the scanner though, cause I forgot something really important. NANI?! I ran out of air because I was careless, and so I suffer my first death. I've learned the lesson though. The next time I go diving, I'm gonna be deploying this long straw pump thing so I can have a closer source of air. I still needed more blueprints, so I swam around looking for wreck sites and scanned every piece of technology that I could find. Not long after that, I found the final blueprint for the Sea Glide. I knew I needed this particular piece of technology to go further from the starting point. I quickly made my way back to the escape pod and prepared to gather more materials.
This is Lifepod 3, uploading our coordinates. We're plugging some holes in our emergency Sea Glide, so if we're late for the rendezvous, don't panic.
I finally got a Sea Glide, and that distress call gave me a destination to test it on. After cooking up some of the fish for more supplies, I went back into the water. And to be honest, I was pretty nervous at this point because this was going to be the farthest I've ever gone from the escape pod. It wasn't long until I found Lifepod 3, and I immediately began setting up my equipment so I can explore the wreck. As expected though, nobody was here. They either abandoned the wreck or something had gotten to them. It wasn't a total loss though. They left behind pieces of technology for me to use, so there's that. With the morning sun rising in the sky, I made my way back to the escape pod, and there was another message on the radio.
From the cafeteria, what the hell, guys? Our pod was almost crushed by the Seamoth Bay on the way down. Now we're hanging on the edge of a cave system, and this grim-looking snake thing's trying to eat through the hull.
Ozzy's distress signal gave me another goal to go for, but the problem was he was in a deeper position than Lifepod 3. Fortunately though, I had enough materials on me to upgrade my oxygen tank. This should help me get into the deeper areas, but what Ozzy said about the big giant worm things, well, it didn't really fill me up with confidence at that time. You see, I didn't really have any problems with giant, scary creatures, but giant, scary creatures underwater? In the dark? No. No bueno. Anyway, the computer told me that something was gonna happen to the Aurora, and that maybe I should look at it, so here it is. I set up my breathing pipes 100 meters above where Ozzy's pod was resting. This was, so far, the deepest I was gonna dive, and I needed all the equipment that I had not to drown. After restocking my oxygen, I went down to Ozzy's pod and found the sea moth part right there. I quickly pulled out my scanner. Putting together a sea moth would make exploration of this alien planet so much easier. But just like Life Pod 3, Ozzy's pod was empty. The only things I could scavenge were his tablet and some base parts. A little further away from the life pod, I found the cave that Ozzy was talking about. It went deeper than my suit could handle, so I went back out. I didn't have the equipment to explore anything that deep yet. On my way out, I was chased by this cockroach fish thing. I think it's pretty cute. Anyway, that's gonna be it for today, guys. I might upload more Subnautica in the future, so stick around for it, okay? Be sure to stay safe out there and keep away from weird fish. With that said, I hope you've enjoyed this video, and thanks for watching.